The city of Los Angeles wants to reinstate a COVID era policy that forces landlords to accept pets in their rental properties. I'm Tony, and this is Real Estate Investing and Landlord News. All right, so I have an interesting story for you today, and it's coming out of Los Angeles, California, one of the places where they have the most anti landlord laws possible. And it seems like it's a never ending flow of bad ideas that hurt landlords, okay? And this policy they're talking about, it's part of a COVID era policy that they're trying to reinstate. And the policy basically made it so that tenants could just basically bring pets into a rental unit without the landlord's permission and keep it for as long as they live there. Now, this sounds like a dumb idea to me. There's a reason why a lot of landlords don't want pets in their units because all of the property damage that they do. And the landlords who do accept pets, such as myself, we want to make sure that we have a pet security deposit or that we receive pet rent so that we can cover those additional costs, okay? But no, the city of Los Angeles wants to go past what we want, past what the property owners want, past what our rental agreements say on them, and then just basically dictate to us what we can and can't do with our properties. Basically, the same thing I'm always complaining about, government overreach, where they try to tell you how to operate your business. And if you have any complaints, well, screw you. Okay. And I have a big problem with this sort of thing. It isn't up to a city to determine whether, especially something as like pets, okay? Now, a lot of landlords accept pets, including myself, but like I said, I know about the damages. I've seen the damages, I've paid for the damages, and there's a good reason why some landlords just don't want to deal with it anymore. I remember one of my units, I had, the cats who literally were, they were doing that spraying thing straight up on the wall, on the drywall, and sometimes you have to cut that drywall out. Okay, now I didn't cut the drywall out of my place. I covered it with Kills. Okay, the oil-based Kills in order to seal the smell in. But man, I mean, just imagine you don't want that sort of thing in your unit and your tenant brings it in anyway. Well, that should be a lease violation, something that you should be able to remove them for. But no. The city dictates that you have to accept that pet and you just have to deal with it. Well, gosh, what a big joke. So before I get into the article, go ahead, hit the like, subscribe button, maybe leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. So do you think that the city should be dictating whether landlords should or shouldn't accept pets within their units? Okay, this is an important question. I know that a lot of people have pets nowadays. I looked up a recent statistic, right? For one of my community posts, right? And the one, it had to do with rental insurance, and it said that 40% of renters, only 40% of renters have insurance, renter's insurance, but 59% of renters have pets. Now, isn't that a little bit ridiculous? The same people who claim that, oh, I can't afford this renter's insurance because it's too expensive. Well, they got plenty of money for pets, for dogs, cats, birds, whatever pets they happen to have. And, they said the average cost of renter's insurance throughout the entire US is about $12 a month. Okay, so you can't tell me that these people, they're not spending at least $12 a month on their pets. But this is, I never thought renters were smart people. I never thought that they had their financial situation figured out in most cases, right? And a lot of renters they don't have insurance because they just don't know better. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you try to educate them or not. I don't force my tenants to get renter's insurance, but I highly recommend it. Okay, and I would suggest to any tenant, get renter's insurance. It is dirt cheap. When I was a renter, I had renter's insurance the entire time because it was so cheap. It was like almost nothing. You go down to McDonald's and you spend more than $12 right now. you know, if you can't afford $12 a month, well, maybe you have bigger financial issues than you think you do. But anyway, back on topic, right? I don't like the idea that this city is trying to force landlords to accept these pets, even if they don't want it. So let's get into the article and see what it says. This article is coming from mynewsla.com, and it says LA City Commission okays proposal to allow animals in rental units. Yeah, and they say, oh, the proposal will allow animals in rental units. No, it will mandate, force landlords to accept animals. It doesn't allow, they use this twist of words in order to make it seem like, oh, well, this is just, you know, it's so good, it's such a good thing. No, no, you are literally taking away our property rights with everything that you're doing. But anyway, let's get into the article. A Los Angeles City Council committee Wednesday approved a request from the Department of Animal Services seeking to reinstate a COVID era policy to ensure tenants can keep their pets in their rental units. The three-member Neighborhoods and Community Enrichment Committee voted unanimously to support the request, which calls on the city attorney to codify policy mandating that landlords and building managers allow pets in rental units until the tenant moves or relocates the animal. Larry Gross, president of the city's Board of Animal Services Commissioners, said a lot of people surrender their pets because many landlords require them to, or it may constitute a reason for eviction. It may constitute a reason for eviction because if you signed a contract saying that no, you weren't going to have, any pets in your unit, and then the landlord comes by and you've got 3 dogs sitting up in there, well, yeah, that is a violation of the lease, the terms that you agreed to in the contract. And that violation of the contract constitutes you being removed, in my opinion. Okay? Now, simply put, it shouldn't be up to the board of so many pets. People have to give up their pets. Well, you know what? If you if you move to a place that doesn't accept pets, you have to either give that pet up or find a new home for it. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So, yeah, I mean, we're talking about separate issues here, right? We're talking about the issue of what do we do with all these animals, and then the other issue of should these private property owners, should these private business owners be allowed to decide whether they want animals on their property or not? Okay, and in a lot of cases, they don't. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's going to be rejecting tenants with pets, but it does mean that for those who do, they should have that option. And this is what the city wants to take away from them. So, this proposal will address that issue. It takes what the COVID eviction protections originally did, that you can't evict if you brought in an animal during COVID, Gross told committee members prior to their vote. In March 2020, the City Council adopted COVID related tenant protections, which also allowed tenants living in no pets buildings to either foster or adopt animals. However, the city rescinded those protections when it ended its COVID-19 state of emergency earlier this year. So, yeah, in March of 2020, they really screwed landlords over. In buildings where no pets were allowed, they forced landlords to be able to take pets. Oh, you could foster or adopt. What a joke. I hate when the government tries to overreach and like pass this sort of nonsense onto us because how far is it going to go? How far is it going to go before we don't have any control of our properties at all until the city itself is dictating 100% of how our businesses are operated? Okay, they already got rent control. They already got strong eviction protections. They already tell us basically everything that we can do with our properties, and now they're telling, oh, you got to take pets too. Even what's next? Well, you must allow smoking in your property. Well, yeah, if your tenant smokes, you have to allow it. No, you cannot ban a tenant for smoking in your property. I mean, what else? Yes, if a person wants to urinate on the floor, you have to allow it because we have to allow the people that urinate on the floor. Like it goes beyond what is expected, what is reasonable, and it just makes landlords have to deal with garbage and nonsense. But here's my recommendation once again, in case you don't get the point and understand that, hey, I am not one of those people who would invest in a place like Los Angeles. Okay? I invest in the Midwest. I own properties in Missouri and I own properties in Nebraska, right? And the reason I invest in these specific places is because they are landlord friendly. They treat us with respect. We still have property rights. We can still remove tenants if we want to or need to from our properties. We can dictate how much our rents are going to be. And properties aren't so expensive that only the super duper wealthy can become landlords. People like me who work a full time job and saved up enough money, we can become landlords. We can own property here still. If you're middle class, it's not game over where you're just stuck as a permanent renter and can never own anything. Well, here you can still own something. And that's why I'm investing here. That's why I don't go to places like Los Angeles, California, because it doesn't matter if you like the place, if the weather is great, if, the environment is great. If when you go home at night, you simply put, you can't even call the place truly yours because you're renting it. You could never afford a property because they're way too expensive. Where you couldn't operate your own business because they treat businesses like they're villains. Like, why would I want to be in a place like that? So, here's the thing, right? I threw up a while back. I threw up some ads for consulting, and I didn't get much traction with them, right? But that's because I didn't bring the message correctly. Now, I'm going to, throw my consulting offer out there again. If you're interested in consulting and specifically talking about out of state or long distance real estate investing, right? And specifically in the Midwest, in either Omaha, Nebraska, or in the Kansas City metropolitan area, I am an expert at it. Okay. I do it myself. I do long distance real estate investing, and I've done it for years. And it is much, much better than investing in California. If you're interested, send me an email, Tony at northomahainvestments.com.